Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm not unboxing anything. Today I'm drilling down into the core reason that I established this unboxing channel, and its primary reason was simply to share with you some of the things that I really enjoyed day to day, the things that have struck me. And after 25 years in this industry, there's a few pieces that have really kept me intrigued and really interested in some of the things in this industry. Weirdly, today it's a power cord. This one from IsoTek, it's an IsoTek Premier, years ago. 10 years? Oh look, power cables have been available for ages. Upgraded power cables, all sorts of expensive ones. I remember way back when they were first introduced, we had to modify them and put New Zealand power plugs on them and find all sorts of ways of heat shrinking and hot gluing and all sorts of things to try and make the damn things work in New Zealand. Of course, electrical safety standards evolved as they needed to, which stopped us from being able to modify these power cables. But it was haunting even then with some of these makeshift ways of making them work, how strikingly obvious changing that power cable was to an audio system. Now, I'm not going to drill into the science of it, but basically by reducing the noise floor entering the power supply of the amplifier, reduced the operating noise floor of the integrated amplifier or power amp, and with that the output was quieter. It had an unveiling effect. And as we sort of dove into the higher end versions of things, we saw all sorts of things, an increased soundstage, maybe a little more dynamics. And it really struck me that just something so simple as a power cable could make such a difference. Nevertheless, 10 years ago, a little bit more perhaps, got a couple of these as part of a sort of a rewards program, and they languished at home. My cabinet is really difficult to move out. It's very heavy, and there's all sorts of things that, that as soon as you push it back, something comes unplugged. So I was really hesitant to chuck these in because I was skeptical about what it would do in my home theatre system. So one day, cold day, flicked everything off at the wall and pulled everything out, and I put this into my processor and my power amplifier and flicked it back on the wall. Now, of course, turning it on at the wall, everything started to sort of light up and turn on around me, and the Blu-ray started to play automatically. And so by the time I'd sort of straightened things out and pushed everything back, the Paramount Pictures startup had started playing. And despite me changing nothing else in the system other than the power cords, by the time I had sat back down in my seat to try and evaluate the difference, and just with that Paramount Picture startup screen before the movie, I realised that I was in a world of hate, a world of pain, as yet again I ended up having to buy more and more of these power cables, because each and every single one that I added made a noticeable and justifiable difference. They're pretty good value, they're really well made, and comparatively cheap compared with their competition. So the Premier is probably my favourite. It's got it's the easiest to justify from a price point perspective. They come well packaged, they're really well reviewed. There's 3 different versions of them. There's a figure 8, an IEC, and a C19, which is the big 16 amp version. They're clearly delineated. Hi-fi choice, what hi-fi, all really well loved for a basic product. The problem is, over the years, of course, I started experimenting with the better and more expensive ones. The sequel is the next one up in the range. This one's blue, this one's silver. There's no silver in it, it's just a colour coding. The sequel was even better again. Not as easy to justify because they're a little bit more expensive, but in any higher end system we're chasing those small improvements. Now, power cables will never make a night and a day improvement, but the subtle improvements are so easy to justify given the dollar value of the hardware costs to try and achieve the same percentage increase in quality. So it's really awesome. And again, this is an example of some of the things that over the 25 years, I still hark back to. I still remember my very first experiments with these hodgepodge power cables that we ended up modifying. And to this day, it's wonderful to have something with a New Zealand power plug, meets New Zealand power regulations, really, really affordable, really easy to use. It's a plug and play upgrade. So yes, here I am, 25 years later, celebrating and sharing some of these iconic things with you with the IsoTek Premier power cable. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.